FYKU, VN Sensation, Pinky Curdy, and Coors, as you can even see on your screen right there. And then on the Hellborn side, or in this case, it's going to be Call It Karma. As soon as we're finishing loading into the match, we'll be able to actually let you know who we're dealing with. There we go.
We got the Jellyfish leading off the roster. Deadfruit, Carlsberg, Alma, and Banana FTW.
There we go. So let's go ahead, and as you saw right there, they were actually jumping into the game. So ladies and gentlemen, I think it's good to get game number 1 started here in the grand finals from the Gold Division. Here we go. Call It Karma taking on FYKU. Let's take a look. All right, so as you can see right here, we got FYKU, of course, on the Legion side, while Call It Karma is going to be on the Hellborn side. So, again, this is the beginnings of our first best out of 3. And if things, go as they went last time in the winners finals at least, FYKU, again, both these teams very solid teams, but it just seemed like FYKU was a step up. Maybe that was just simply for that day. Who knows? We'll see, of course, how Call It Karma responds today. But the blind bands are out right here. Ophelia Parasite taken care of by FYKU. And then look at that, Monkey King Silhouette coming out from Call It Karma. So you talked about Pue specifically playing that Monkey King. Well, he's going to go ahead and they don't want to have to deal with the Monkey King again. So Monkey King banned out here. The first lock coming out, that's actually going to be a Luna coming out here from Shizor. We'll see how the Jellyfish decides to lock here for his side. And woo, look at that. You know what? I remember bringing this up the other day, how it seems like we haven't really seen a whole lot of just trollish-style locks lately. Like, it just completely went away, and people went with the more consistent. But Gemini Artesia locked up here.
Yeah, it looks like Call It Karma is going to go the more maybe troll route, but maybe they have a Gemini or Artesia player. I will say I actually really like Artesia. Like, I think that hero does a lot of damage. It really does. Like, your ultimate in a team fight, if you're around it, not just like you can use it to snipe people and snipe out kills globally. That's fun and all good too. But if you're actually in a team fight and you're next to your ultimate, it basically does double damage of all your spells because it's casting it additionally to your own spell being cast from your hero. And it does so much damage. It also slows, and it propagates your passive, which also shoots out more damage.
It also heals and gives mana. It does everything, man.
yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
But she is pretty squishy, and she is a little awkward to... Well, I honestly, she's not even that awkward to lane, because you can dual lane her, you can solo her. So I actually really like the hero. Now, Gemini, that's a little bit harder to fit into a lineup. It can work as like a farmer if you just put him in a safe lane carry. But he's a little bit harder to use because he's got a very high skill cap. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what they do with that. And the last pick, or last lock, actually, was Shadowblade.
Yeah.
So they did go for more of that trollish style lock. So basically, if you're looking at standard heroes, it's basically a Luna, Glacius, Tempest in that pool. Which means if Call It Karma wants, they can pick up 2 of those after one of those was already first taken out of the lockpick pool first by FYKU. That leaves either Gemini, Artesia, or Shadowblade for FYKU. So hopefully they're comfortable in playing with one of those heroes.
Again, this is where it goes back to when Lockpick first came out. A lot more teams seems like they were more willing to kind of test these grounds, to kind of put their feet in the water and try this kind of strategy out. And as the Hellborn side, they're the ones that are initially in control of it. Now, as a response, FYKU could have actually locked whether one, if not 2, trollish heroes themselves, and that would have put really both teams in a very awkward situation. But they did not. They decided to lock the Tempest Glacius, go pretty solid there. But like you were saying, that honestly gives Call It Karma the overall advantage now in that lock pool, at least when you look at it from that perspective. Now, again, that's not to say that FYKU, they can't play Gemini, Artesia, or Shadowblade by any means. But those are not heroes you expect to see on the competitive scene and may not be as played, if anything. Again, they were locked up by Call It Karma. So it really is going to be interesting to see how that lockpicking phase goes. But knowing that we're at least going to see one of those 3 heroes, Strelf, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Knowing that, again, that we're going to see at least one of those 3. So the banning phase finishing up. Magmus, Jereziah, Plague Keeper of the Forest, Pebbles, and Dark Lady are the bans here. So when it comes to the bans, nothing too crazy. Fade is going to be first picked here by FYKU. Solid first pick.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder sometimes, like, why more teams, at least in the second position, don't maybe troll. Because it does force you. It does force you to pick up an interesting or weird hero that you're not normally used to playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you put 2 completely troll-style locks, or 3, I should say, all 3, that means one of them will have to be picked
Exactly.
by FYKU. Now the counter to that, of course, is FYKU locking
Lock
their own
yourselves,
troll,
yeah.
and then you just get a a cluster.
Get a messy game.
Yeah, of course. So it's going to be interesting. I would like to see more of that, just so we can see more versatility. But
Yeah.
most teams just do like to play it safe. Obviously, we see lots of junglers and suicides in that lock pool normally. But anyway, start things off. We have actually more of a standard pick with Fade and then Tundra Draconis to follow it up.
Yeah. So we see right here as the jellyfish is confirming right there, and again, that's at least from my understanding, talking to MilkFat, at least this past weekend is what I was told. So I'm not an admin myself, so I can't sit here and guarantee that. So, but anyways, the follow-up picks for Call of Karma right there, Tundra and Draconis, yeah, those are very strong picks actually, and that actually leads to another point. With locking more trollish heroes in the locking phase, it will ultimately open up more heroes in the regular picking stage on top of that. So. Because again, it's sure you get the banning phase, but then not as many would be banned / locked up. So. We do see the Tundra Draconis. The response now coming out from FYKU so far is actually Nymphora, and then there's Forsaken Archer. So very, very strong lineup forming there on FYKU side. Very aggressive gank strategy between Nymphora and Fate especially. And then, of course, they got their hard carry potential in Forsaken Archer. Looks like FYKU's lineup, FYKU Curdy, is coming out very nicely. Call of Karma, again, there's plenty of options still left on the board. We'll see who they finish off with themselves now, knowing that they already have the Tundra and Draconis. They could pretty much secure a support there, whether it's Glacius or Luna in the lockpick stage. So, yeah. I think not going support here makes the most sense, but we'll see.
Yeah, maybe something like a suicide here. They could use Tundra as a suicide as well, but yeah, something like a Bubbles. What other options could there be? Hey, Valkyrie. No, just any kind of suicide. Maybe Pharaoh as well would work, but I think that would be the smartest.
Why
thing for
not
them right
Valkyrie, man?
I don't know.
Valkyrie go?
I actually really like Valkyrie as a suicide. I know he's not picked at all lately, but it's very, very strong. You can definitely trade harass with supports and actually pick up a lot of kills on supports.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have that. It's like that fail safe for a carry late game, but.
It was the nerf to the arrow. That
it really was.
Turned people off. Yeah.
It really was. But yeah, I don't know. I still think that she has a place.
Yeah. But man, you said it. We really just have never seen her. Never. I mean, she just completely went off the map. So it is strange to see situations like that where a hero that was just so popular for so long in the competitive scene, and all of a sudden just disappears. Pharaoh is going to be the final pick here, so that goes with the course with the suicide route here. Of course, not the Bubbles necessarily, but Pharaoh is another strong option, no doubt, and a solid one at that. So here we go, the first pick, Tempest, coming out here from FYKU. Now, this does put call. Okay, they are just going to go with Luna Glacius. So there you go. That's exactly what we talked about. Now, FYK is like, well, crap. Who do we go with here? Gemini, Artesia, or Shadowblade? They got to go Artesia, right? I mean, you can't go Shadowblade or I guess you could, but
you could. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I would think Artesia and then maybe Suicide Tempest, dual lane mid, dual lane bottom. I don't know. That's the best thing I can think of, because thinking of a Suicide hero in that lineup is kind of awkward unless it's Tempest. Yeah. Now, I still hate Tempest Suicide, but do you really have any other options? I mean, that's the problem with lockpick, is you do kind of sometimes get yourself screwed as far as the laning phase goes.
Mm-hmm. Now, my big question here is, so you said maybe we're going to see kind of a 2-2-1 setup, that kind of makes sense. What are we going to – is that going to mean – are we going to see support Artesia? Can Artesia be played as a support, or do you really just want to see her played as more the farming / leveling hero?
She can. She can be played as a support.
Okay.
Yeah, she can be played as a support, but I do feel like she does quite well with lots of farm. So I'm curious to see what kind of role he plays in this game. But, yeah, I'm just trying to, think here. What are the best options? And maybe they are just going to suffer and have Artesia be in that suicide lane and just try to snipe out some creep kills with a long-range nuke, and just go standard lanes like dual lane mid, someone solo bottom, and then Tempest in the jungle. It looks like Tempest is going to be in the jungle with the build that he has. Yeah. Because he has no regen right now. So, yeah, probably going to be a suicide Artesia for this game.
Huh. Interesting. Now, honestly, the last time, I know this is kind of random, but the last time I remember seeing Artesia, I want to say it was played by Cats Gaming. Or maybe, no, it was actually Team GA, I think it was. One of the two Russian teams, way back in the DreamHoN Summer Championships, where I think it was, what was his name? Zulu 4 or whatever. That guy was awesome back at the previous DreamHack. Anyways, so he ended up playing Artesia, and he actually did fairly well on it. And as you kind of went to, it's a case of this hero, man. This hero pumps out amazing damage, kind of like Alonia, as we saw recently on the competitive scene. She kind of made a little bit of splash just before this recent Dream hack, and she puts out crazy burst damage. So these kind of just heavy nuke heroes. Now, obviously, the downside is simply that they don't really have any escape whatsoever. I mean, you catch them, you set up ganks, you put the stun out, and it's it's pretty much a guaranteed dead target. Now, granted, they can return in sense of they put down all their damage and they at least get a counter kill out of it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see definitely how this Artesia works for sure. Going to be played by VN Sensation here, and as you said, very likely at this rate, maybe he's just going to go suicide. Tempest currently heading up there, but probably just going to deny. Then eventually head to the jungle. Or no, Artesia might go middle, actually. So, I don't know. Well, we'll see where they eventually end up. Okay, she has a ward of sight, so she's just going to go an interesting route here. So, Nymphora fade mid. It looks like Forsaken Archer solo bottom, and then Artesia suicide. Right now, she's matched up against Draconis. So, I know, obviously, Artesia, not a hero maybe you necessarily have too much experience with, both watching and even playing, but how do you think she should fare against Draconis?
Honestly, if she's just straight up solo, I feel like she actually could net kills.
Okay.
I really do. Like, early on, she's got to be aggressive early on because that's where she's going to be the strongest, I feel. So, like, level 2, when you have that arcane bolts to propagate your arcane missile, you get tons of slow. It's a very low cooldown. It's only 5 seconds at level 1, and it goes down to 2 at level 4. Mm-hmm. And obviously, if you use that W spell, which is the Dance of Death, it actually makes it, like, basically no cooldown at all.
Yeah.
And you can cast it repeatedly. Obviously, I don't expect her to get Dance of Death right now. Maybe at level 4. But, yeah, I do think that she actually could net some kills up here against Draconis. We'll have to wait and see. Draconis isn't, like, the strongest laner in the world. People forget that. People think that, oh, my God, it's Draconis. He's got such a late game. He does. There's lots of fire around him. Wow, he's the best laner. He's really not the best laner in the world.
Yeah.
He can actually get away from ganks and stuff because of his blazing flight really quickly. But he can get dealt a lot of damage. So I'm very interested to see how this lane is going to pan out.
Yeah, definitely. Likewise. So, of course, Alme playing that Draconis. He's, of course, their carry player for Call of Karma. Going to be going up against Fiend Sensation on that Artesia. So, the middle matchup, they actually did switch it up a little bit. They sent Forsaken Archer in mid instead. She was originally going bottom, but they decide to put Fade down here. And Nymphora is currently heading that direction. She does ward a sight, but she warded a sight right next to that one. Now, meanwhile, the Fade at the bottom lane, the Mummy Walls are up. Both Glacius and the Luna are here. It's going to be the Bloodlust kill coming out. No, it's not. It looks like Fade will barely get away. So the execution right there, not necessarily able to come through for Bloodlust kill, man. That was a 3 versus 1. It seems like they had the sure thing, but Fade somehow lived.
I thought that was a really innovative, like, way to execute that gank. Like, really good job by Call It Karma, but an even better double stun coming out from Shizor. I feel like maybe the Jellyfish should have positioned himself just a little bit better, but it was a really great idea. Just Shizor had a fantastic getaway with that great double stun. This tri-lane is actually very similar to what QSQ was doing for a long time. They would tri-lane something like a Pharaoh plus a Luna plus 1 in a long lane. And it did have good success, and maybe they saw that and they're like, hey, I want to try that out. And that's what we're seeing right now.
Well, again, if anything, maybe just a simple set of the Bloodlust kill, but it's unfortunate that, again, it just didn't come through. So, in the meantime, though, you do see Aluna. She has transitioned to the middle lane, so it's kind of set up to be a 2 versus 1 mid now, where it's 2v2 in the bottom lane. But Fade, again, the Mummy Wall trap coming out. There's guys in Prism, the Burning Shadows on Pharaoh. Will it be enough for the stop? The Zeal Stun on top of that. And actually, Glacius wasn't cast animation right there, so that may have actually saved Fade in the end. Very good Zeal Stun coming out from Kors right there. Playing that Nymphora, but now you figure with this, so this is a pseudo tri-lane. Well, obviously with Tempest being in the jungle, now not necessarily the most aggressive jungler, but he can definitely come out and assist with those Glacial Blasts. Pharaoh doing a pretty good job right there, actually, of nuking Tempest while he's jungling a little bit right over there. So this bottom lane, though, could get very, very interesting, especially for the Hellborn team if they're not careful, and if Tempest is able to come and set up gank. But he is running right past Ward of Sight right here, and you see Pharaoh and Glacius both falling back very heavily in the meantime.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, top lane, let's check out some early CS. We got 5 and 2 in Artesia. Draconis, he's 8 and 6, so he is having an easier time right now against Artesia. And I want to say that Artesia doesn't have exactly the max range. It's 525 actually action in the bottom lane. Pharaoh's getting gone right here. The stun does come out. Oh, the back end doesn't hit. So Pharaoh's going to activate that Hellfire and do a little bit of damage and mini stunning the Fade. and he'll be fine for now. Tempest is actually very, very low and gets caught in a bad place. He gets kind of flanked right there by the Jellyfish playing Luna and Pharaoh, of course, and Jellyfish gets credit for the Bloodlust.
Yeah, Luna's an excellent roaming support hero, and kind of showing a little bit right there, not only doing the rune control, picking up the illusion rune, of course, but helping to set up the Bloodlust kill. In fact, the Jellyfish playing that Luna gets a Bloodlust kill. Now a freeze coming out of Fade. We may be in trouble once again. The Paratha also connecting. There's the Mummy Wall, and Fade will fall right here. Shizzer just simply getting caught out. I mean, again, it's just a case of this is an aggressive tri-lane, man, and they are playing it to its fullest. So sure, Luna transitioned to the middle lane, but now she's back here at bottom ever since picking up the rune, and this is working out very well now for Call of Karma. You know, in the sense that it's not the most dangerous thing necessarily to have a free farming Pharaoh by any means, but they're at least getting kills, and if anything, they're also locking down this Fade completely down here. So, again, Call of Karma is off to a strong start. As you also mentioned, Draconis is winning this top lane as well, at least for the time being, currently 16-9 compared to the 8-5 Artesia. So, things seem to be connecting pretty well right now for Call of Karma overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I will say that I always say this too, with Tempest, you cannot gank early before you actually get a good amount of farm. It just really, really sets you back. So he's not going to have his Ring of Sorcery for like another 3 minutes or so. And you want to have it right around like the 4.5 to 5 minute mark. And he just simply doesn't have the farm right now. He's going to get roamed down by Glacius, it looks like, or at least apply pressure. And that's going to slow his farm down. Yeah, both Glacius and Luna are down here. The slow's coming out. Can they catch him in time? Nice Imprisonment is not up. There's a stun, but he has double damage on Luna plus boots. He's doing a lot of damage, but nonetheless is keeping him away from farming.
Yeah.
And he actually does get, oh, can he get the Skeleton King? Yes, he can, so that's good for him. But, you know, I almost said Alacius.
The Alacius combo, there you go.
Luna and Glacius combination.
Making stuff up, but it works. I like it. Just like the Pubbles combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, if Glacius had an Ice Imprisonment there, that was a kill. But as you stated, he just barely did not have enough mana at the time, so unfortunately wasn't able to get at the kill. But still, as you so well put it as well, it's a case of Tempest is getting minimal to no farm. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, actually, Forsaken Archer in a lot of trouble. Culture order used by Tundra. He charges in and gets the kill right there. Glacius and Luna roaming to mid, setting up another gank. Call of Karma, they're just playing very active here early on and really taking it to FYKU Curdy. I mean, this is, again, just as I stated going into this series, the previous time these teams met, which was this past Tuesday, of course, in the Winners Bracket Finals, which we casted, FYKU just seemed they were just the better team. It just seems like they played a little bit better and was just well executed. Now, it's seeming like, at least early on here, that maybe that was kind of that one-day thing where Call of Karma, they're the ones looking strong here. Now, again, very early on, not only in this game but in the series, but off to the great start, 3-0, and especially on top of a Draconis, who, again, continues to farm very well here at the top side. And you got to figure, as Draconis always does, the game's going to start progressing, and, well, he'll start to take off a little bit in farm. So, Forsaken Archer, she was the only one kind of the shining star, but after that death especially, I mean, now she's slowed down to only about 220 gold per minute herself here. Yeah, she's putting a little bit of pressure on this, little bit of harass on Tundra right there, but yeah, PvE's doing a good job. They have, who is this, Nymph4 behind mid, but Banana for the win, expect something is up. And they're just playing very active Call of Karma. Like, they already saw a Luna, or no, it wasn't Luna, it was Nymph4 transition to top to maybe just help out Artesia in this lane, try to get something jump-started in some kind of lane. But already Glacius transitioned up there. And he's just doing a good job. He saw the ward that was just placed by Kors. He's going to counter that. That's going to be pretty huge. And they're just playing a very active game right now. And actually, in the meantime, Pee-wee gets initiated here in the mid. He doesn't get killed right away. Does activate the ultimate onto Luna. He will fall with assistance from VN Sensation. In the meantime, he's actually running around. The haste rune is up onto Tundra, but he will be fine for the moment. But good job by VN Sensation adding some assist right there in that kill with that ultimate. That was huge. Not only the assist, but I think it also helps save Forsaken Archer in the end, because again, it's you may not think about this all the time, that ability does so much from Artesia, the ultimate, and it also heals and regens mana. But the heal, I think, even saved Forsaken Archer there in the end. Bottom lane, you see Pharaoh actually taking out Fade right there, unfortunately missing the action, but Pharaoh very, very low, but still manages to get the kill onto Fade. Fade not even level 6 yet, while Pharaoh just hitting level 7, especially as a result of that. So Dead Fruit here playing this Pharaoh. He's level 7 now. He's 1-0-2. He is nearly 300 gold per minute, but right now he is the top farmer in the game. So as I said before, I mean, Pharaoh not necessarily the most dangerous hero that's getting free farm ever, but still could definitely do some work with him. Meanwhile, Glacius at the top side. He went for a gank, but at what cost right there? He gets turned around on Draconis trying to finish off Artesia. The final auto attack will get the kill, so it ends up being a 1-for-1 exchange that in the end Call of Karma will be happy with. That was very, very close though, and you did get to see what we're talking about. Artesia's burst damage, man. I mean, Glacius went in there with full full life. All of a sudden, he's dead. I mean, granted, Nymphora did come in for some assistance, but at least he got the kill before, I guess. But still, a dead Artesia in favor of Draconis. Meanwhile, in the middle, and now another cold shoulder. There's the kill on Forsaken Archer. This time, she cannot get away. Tempest, though, from behind with the assistance of Fade. Aluna's off to the side. The Zealstone from behind, just not in range. And it looks like Tundra will barely skirt on out of there. Just a little bit too fast with those little red booties. And will survive. Call it Karma, keeping up the aggression, man.
Yeah, they definitely are. And they're just playing very active, and it's fun to watch. This is how I like to watch teams, just constantly roaming around the map. You can do it with a number of different heroes. Glacius and Luna are perfect. Even if you had something like a Magnus in there as well, that would be fine. But they're just applying a lot of pressure to a lineup that's not that sound and solid.
Yeah.
And as a result, it is as a result of the drafting. And that comes back to lockpick in general. So they had a good idea of locking some kind of interesting heroes and enforcing some interesting lanes coming out from FYKU. In the meantime, Artesia is getting gone on right here by the double slow of Glacius and Draconis. Draconis does pick up the kill. There's the taunt right there. That's my favorite taunt, by the way. And Draconis gets another kill. So starting off 2-0-0 is this Draconis. 350 gold per minute, just about top in the game. So yeah, banging on all cylinders is Call It Karma.
Yeah, you know what, again, this is just being very, very picky here, and I understand, you know, maybe why he didn't, but in that case right there, Artesia honestly should have just completely stood his ground and gone for at least a counter kill. He was 100% dead. I mean, the double slow, just so much damage coming out on top of the freeze that started it all. He was not going to get away. He did not have support coming in, so it seems foolish to just even try to run away at that point. I mean, and we did see it. He could put out. He very likely could have gotten the kill on Glacius, at least at the very least. But he chose to try to run away. And like I said, it's kind of being picky, sure, but you know, might want to think about that for the future endeavors. But yeah, VN Sensation, he is struggling up there at the top side. Well, as a team, really. I mean, I can't just point him out. Really, as a team, FYKU is just overall struggling. You talked about just the draft, the lockpick mode in general, how that may have screwed FYKU a little bit, but you know, you got to plan for that, and you got to give credit at the same time to Call It Karma for locking like they did, and maybe putting that pressure on FYKU. As it also even seems like maybe they just didn't even realize it initially, but this is how it's playing out, and obviously Call It Karma looking very good here early on. The Wrath of the Pharaoh coming in connection to Nymphora right there. Nymphora will fall. The freeze on him for second archer in the meantime. Not going to be enough for the kill. The Illuniston coming out, and Pharaoh still wants more, actually. He's charging in with the Hellfire. Going to be in range. Will it be enough for the kill? No, will not. He'll fall down, but now in comes Tundra with another cold shoulder. He'll start falling back, though, as Tempest and Artesia are ready to turn this. Magic Missile will hit right there. There's some Arcane Bolts, and actually the Glacial Blast. The Forsaken Archer crippling volley connects, and down goes Tundra. So a little bit of overextension coming out there from the Hellborn team, I think.
I think a little bit is just oversaying that. I mean, that was a lot. They did not need to go behind the tower like that, especially when they don't have Draconis. Even if they had Draconis, that was kind of a silly initiation. But, I mean, they had a good idea. They went on one person. They stunned another. Like, they went on Nymphora, and they also kept Forsaken Archer ulted by Tundra. But it just was sloppy. You didn't need to do that. You don't need to dive towers that early on when you don't have the means to burst them down quickly enough. And also when you don't have all 5 heroes on your side. Yeah. So that was just an unnecessary dive. Nonetheless, they still have Draconis free farming, which is fantastic for them. But you know, that's giving a little bit more hope for FYKU and giving some levels up on Fade, and that's the biggest thing. I did also want to mention though that Fade Nymphora is a deadly combination, but if there is any counter to it at all, it could be Tundra. I mean, that Hawk is very effective. If you get a Bound Eye up onto Tundra, it's one of the only ways to really counter a Fade.
Yeah, and you know, that's obviously that was their pick along with the Draconis after the Fade was first picked, so you can definitely think that as it's almost as if maybe they wanted FYKU to pick that Fade. I mean, obviously in the end, you know, Fade still is always dangerous to give up, but at least knowing that they have that Tundra to be able to somewhat deal against it. Artesia, in the meantime, assisting Fade right here and setting up a kill. Now, that is a very powerful combo. Oh, the double damage and barely picked up in time, but will it be enough to get away? Tundra in there, Pharaoh with the nuke, and actually Tundra will pick up the kill. So Fade got the double damage rune, but it didn't matter. Wrath of the Pharaoh also going to be used on the 4, cutting him off completely. Tundra coming, and this should be a kill. Yes, it will. Banana for the win, actually, on Glacier. Oh, no, that was on Tundra, actually. He does pick up, or no, that was Dread Food picking up the kill right there. Banana for the win, got the previous kill. So, you know, Call It Karma, they got a little bit overzealous here in the middle lane, but just a couple of minutes later, and they get another couple of great kills. So, look at the overall goal lead, 5,400 lead now, on top of about a 1,300 experience lead. And that Draconis, he's got the Sustainer, he has another 1,900 gold already saved up. And it just doesn't seem like anything's coming together right now for FYKU Gertie here.
Yeah, well, the last exchange was a 3-for-1 in favor of Call It Karma. They got the tower. They got 2 kills, so 3 in exchange for 1 person dying, and I think that was the jellyfish. So a fantastic trade for them. The experience hasn't actually gone crazy just yet in favor for Call of Karma, but definitely the gold has. And right now, FYKU, they really need a tower, if not just for the gold, but just for the map control and that Call of Karma is able to have on them. Like, they're able to TP much quicker right into the fray because they have access to every single one of their towers. And it's a huge deal. And so FYKU, they need to get something jump-started in regard to pushing a tower. And it starts with maybe a portal key on Tempest.
Yeah, and you know, we did. That's what I was gonna say there before more action happened. But with Fade ganking with the Artesia assistance, you do kind of see the potential here in this lineup.
Yeah.
With Fade and Amphora, how they can global port around, sure, but then on top of that, you got Artesia basically assisting with that ultimate of hers as well. So it definitely has all the potential in the world, and they can pretty much guarantee a kill. You know, a lot of the time it seems like, especially when Amphora, of course, hits level 6. Now, Fair in the meantime going to wrap the Fair on to Tempest right here, puts the Mummy Walls up. Will it be now Artesia trying to assist for a counter kill, but Tempest, too much damage being taken, especially with the Hellfire. Is that maxed? Yeah, it is level 4. The crippling volley will catch on top of the piercing arrows, not doing a whole lot of damage, so the Skulls is not going to be enough. There's a mana battery to use, and he will stay alive for now with the power supply, excuse me. Burning Shadows connects, though, and that Cole on top of that, picking up the kill. In the meantime, Tundra on the run. He should be fine. But while that was all happening, Draconis just freely, again, just sitting up here, pounding in damage, and he gets a tower kill on top of all this farm. He is now up to 453 gold per minute.
Yeah.
He is just, well, he's just seconds away even from finishing his Nullstone here already. We're only 14 and a half minutes in, not even.
They're just, again, getting the better exchanges of these, or the better, I should say, end of these exchanges. So right there was a 2-for-1. They got a tower and a kill, and then in exchange they gave up the life of Deadfruit playing that Pharaoh. But yeah, 2-for-1s, 3-for-1s. This is all adding up to what the golden experience lead is coming out for Call of Karma.
Now, experience isn't that much. It is under 1,000 experience. The gold lead, of course, is the significant one, though. The 6,600 gold lead, and it's showing especially, once again, on the Draconis. Now,
yeah.
you know, the rest of the team, it still is looking, I mean, you got Tundra and Pharaoh, who are still actually doing better than anyone on the Legion team as well, so.
Yeah, that's basically, compare one of those supports to Tempest. That's basically what you're doing. And, of course, you do have a lot of experience up on Dragon, but that's why it is a little bit more, well, a lot more even as far as experience goes. But the gold lead, and like I said, the gold lead, and the biggest thing is just the fact that they have all their towers to access. And to be honest, not any of them have really taken any damage at all.
Yeah.
Like mid tower is basically full HP. Bottom tower, same thing with bottom tower. Top tower hasn't even been touched.
Yeah.
And so it's not really so much the gold lead that they have, just the access that they have to these towers to be able to TP and be so aggressive like they are this early on.
Yeah, Draconis just cleaned up triple stack Ancients right there. He is now up to around 485 gold per minute. The Nullstone is finished. He already has another 1,000 gold just about saved up, so he's already on his way to that Shrunken Head you'd figure going to be the next item. In the meantime, more initiation happening. They catch Forsaken Archer here. The Wrath of the Pharaoh was used, setting up that kill right there. Pharaoh, man, you know, I maybe underestimated. I was saying, you know, maybe not the most scary that he's getting farmed, but at the levels at the very least is what you want in Pharaoh, of course. But he has just been moving around and setting up kills left and right. He has been involved in 9 of the 12 kills so far for Call It Pharma. Call It Karma here.
They're not even farming, Breaking. I mean, maybe Draconis
Pharma
is, but they've been pretty aggressive.
Yeah, how dare this team sits back and farms all day. No, yeah, Pharaoh 4-2-5 currently. Again, the GPM only 276, not the most impressive, but he's just setting up kills as he needs to be, and as a Pharaoh should be. So yeah, that's very good here for Call of Karma.
Tundra does have a bound eye up on him. And it looks like they've already been doing some counter warding because there's not a single ward on the map for Legion. They do have 1 ward up and ready to go, be placed by Chorus Plane and Amphora. We have a port coming out actually in the bottom lane. Yeah, so Fade's going to set something up here in this bottom lane. Maybe try to get a kill onto Aluna. Aluna does have a sentry actually on him, so maybe can prevent this just a little bit. But they need something. Like they need to group up, and they just simply need a tower. So if that means, you know, run across the map streaking like, hey, look at me, and then get a tower in mid with Tempest or something. But that's what they really need. Actually, Fade is right here, gets the initiation, but misses his stun. It actually hits Pharaoh, and that might kill Pharaoh as a result. Pharaoh ults out of his own Mummy Wall. It's a stun coming up from Amphora. Tempest wants to get some damage done. They will get some damage done. Pharaoh will fall. He's just going to running in the fray, trying to save his good friend Luna for now. But that was a very interesting exchange there coming out from Shizzle.
Well, it was clear right there that Shizzer wanted to go for the all or nothing. He wanted the double. Now, in the end, it worked out very well. Now, he stuns an illusion right there, and there's the reaction with the avalanche coming out. Here comes Draconis, and look at the damage coming out from Draconis. Cataclysmic Assault is going to be activated right there. The spread damage, Nymphora and Fade just melt away. Double tap coming out for Almay right there, and they are, of course, going to push this tower now. You see the Tempest minions are still here. Artesia joining the party here. Ultimate's on cooldown. She did use it earlier, trying to snap out a Luna, actually, which she wasn't even able to successfully do, as Luna did get away. So the rest of the team will fall back, however, after that exchange. But again, it comes down to a case of I still think Call of Karma came out on top there with the exchanging that went on, and it is definitely showing on the farm and everything. And, you know, Draconis going to go back to Ancients. He has now surpassed that 500 gold per minute mark. He already has a Mighty Blade, 1,1600 gold saved up. Getting ugly, and we already saw right there, you know, the damage output that he can do in the last fight. Also, the Bound Eyes you mentioned on Tundra, obviously that's huge for multiple reasons, not only for counterwarding, but especially dealing with a Fade. Yeah, it's all coming together here very nicely for Call of Karma. But FYKU Curdy here, FYKU, they're definitely hanging in there and doing their best. Pue is up to nearly 300 gold per minute himself, so he's trying to respond, but no tower pushing yet though.
Yeah, that was an even exchange 2 for 2, but you can't have even. Oh no, Nymphora was in a huge, horrible position. He might still be in a bad spot. You have Strider's Glacius trying to slow, and yeah, Nymphora will definitely die. Alma gets a legendary streak now as a result. And as I was just talking about before, even though the exchange last time was even, both of the kills that Call of Karma got were onto Alma playing the Draconis, and now he gets another one. He's 5-0-0, over 518 gold per minute, or just about. And things are looking pretty scary if you're FYKU. They do have great means, like you were mentioning, of a global strategy of being able to roam around with Nymphora Fade porting around. You have the Artesia ultimate on top of that. But it's just not going to be enough, in my opinion. They're going to need to do that every single time the cooldowns are up to maybe get a little bit ahead.
Fade is saving up a decent amount of gold right here. I mean, she has about 1,700 plus gold, so maybe that portal key going to be in the works for her. And she has level 11 on top of that. So, again, there it is. You were just even saying, I mean, that potential is there. The portal key on Tempest obviously is big. Hell, if they get that one fight where they get a great Tempest ultimate off and everything comes together, I mean, sure, there's still much hope here for FYKU, but right now, with the way the momentum's going, with the way the pace of this game is really going, I mean, no doubt it's in Call of Karma's favor. You keep going back to the towers. I mean, look at the top tower, no damage. Middle tower, still minimal damage. Bottom tower, very minimal damage. It's just not any really pressure. No pressure has been able to be given out here by FYKU, and it definitely is showing. Firebrand has been purchased by Forsaken Archer, so she is in the making. So, well, I guess it could be multiple. We'll see whether she wants to go the Frostburn route or the quick Geometer's Bane. But Shrunken Head already finished on Draconis. So
yeah.
He says, I see your Firebrand. I have a Shrunken Head Nullstone.
Yeah, I don't know what Forsaken Archer is going to get. I would say if you're going to get Geometers, it's strictly for the reason of getting out of the slow and the snares from Glacius, but that's not really going to be the big problem. Like, yeah, that's a problem and it can hurt you, but why not just get a Shrunken Head if that's your idea?
Yeah.
Because it's going to block everything else too. So now, of course, Geometer's Bane will help you farm faster and you'll do more damage from it, but it also, with all this mass AoE coming out from this Hellborn team, I've always said I don't like going illusions because they just melt instantly.
Yeah.
You do have a portal key up on Fade, so maybe this is the beginning of trying to get a comeback here with a portal key up on Tempest, portal key up on Fade, and they need to open up the map for this Forsaken Archer, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and so you would like to think that with Nymphora being level 7 that we may start seeing something, but that also comes down to a point that Call of Karma, not only are they not really giving many opportunities for that to take place, but they're getting beefy. I mean, all across the table. I mean, sure, Glacius and Aluna are still to be very vulnerable. Well, Glacius at least. I mean, hell, even Aluna does have over 1,000 life now. So, but in the end, I mean, really, when you think of the combo, because it's not just Fade and Luna, or not just Fade and Fade and Nymphora. In fact, you see right there, Fade jumping against the Bound Eye, takes out Tundra. Artesia also assisting with that ultimate, and exactly what we're talking about. Nymphora canceled her port, actually, as Pharaoh Wrath of the Pharaoh's in and gets the kill on a Fade right there. So it ends up being a 1-for-1, and actually Pharaoh will pick up the Bound Eye and then to go ahead and destroy the, well, he actually fell off before, so.
I think he got it.
Oh, did he?
I thought he got it, yeah.
Got some gold.
Which is, I think, 100 gold, too.
Yeah, not bad.
And, but, yeah, that's a great combination, but it's still a better exchange, you know. They did kill Tundra, but they got the Bound Eye back, so it doesn't really matter. And in the meantime, Draconis is going to farm faster because they have all the access to towers. That's the bottom line. So it's just going to be a lot harder for Forsaken Archer to get any farm here. I do love the Artesia combination with this global strat, though. It's very fun.
Yeah. It does kind of suck, honestly, because, again, the potential, you could just tell, is totally there. It's just for FYK, you just have not been able to execute, but you got to give the credit to Call It Karma. I mean, we're talking so much about the farm on Alme playing this Draconis, but look at this. He's level 17. That's 4 levels higher than anyone else in this game right now, which is the Forsaken Archer at level 13. So, but this is Draconis for you. We say it every single time because we see it every single time. This is just what he does. He is going the Whispering Helm route, it looks like, actually. He's not going to be going the usual Savage Maze, so I think it's safe to say, but not bad in that sense either. Pharaoh's going to get jumped right in the meantime, though. Great piercing arrows on top of that. Now the Barbed Armor is activated, not enough for a return. The Tempest ultimate coming out. Glaciers will be pulled, and Thunder goes down as well. Great execution right there for the Legion team, and that is definitely something that FYKU needed to start coming back. Now, Raz the Pharaoh going to jump in, so Pharaoh buying back. He wants revenge. He wants blood. Draconis joining the party. There's that Shark, and the Cataclysmic Assault. Artesia will fall, and they also take out Nymph4 in the process. The rest will just blink away and be fine. So the response not too shabby there from Call It Karma.
Yeah.
Kind of taken away from a bit of the momentum that was picked up.
Yeah, I like that. It looked like Alma was actually a little bit timid and didn't really want to go in, but Deadfruit was like, no, I'm in, bitch. And just with a great buyout, I totally agree with that one.
Yeah.
And, you know, with an aggressive hero like Pharaoh and a hero that can initiate from such a far range, I think early buyouts like that are very, very appropriate. So I definitely like that decision. We actually see what Pew's going to do here. He has the Firebrand for farming, and then he's going to go for Shrunken Head right after that. It looks like with the Wormhammer. I love this idea. I don't see people do this enough, really, but Firebrand does help you farm very, very fast, and it's a relatively cheap item. So I do like that decision.
Or a Shield Breaker.
That would be silly. That would just be silly.
Yeah. So we'll see. Again, another 1,300 gold saved up. But yeah, he does go to Warhammer first, but obviously you would like to believe that it's going to be the Shrunken Head finish. Whispering Helm has been finished. Speaking of finishing here on Alme playing that Draconis. So he chooses to go the lifesteal route. And Fade is running around again. Fade just continuing to be fairly active as he just simply needs to be. Running past the Shiver right there, but of course being invisible. Not spotted. Right now there is no Bound on the Hellborn side as it might have even got destroyed. I mean, it's been passed back and forth a couple times. I think it might, at this point it might have just simply been destroyed, but yeah, because I don't see anyone on either side. But yeah, he roams around a little bit, not able to find anyone though, and we'll fall back to him side, wait for the cooldown, and look to go again. But I don't think we've seen an M4 port yet. I mean, we saw one in the process, but it was canceled, so... But now, that's nothing against Chorus, because like I said, it does seem like it is pretty difficult this game to get those chances, especially when you don't have any tower kills. I mean, that goes back to the map positioning in general. You don't really have that vision on their side of the map at all, with no tower kills, nowhere to sight, so yeah, you really can't do it, I guess.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Not to mention you have a Tundra scouting out everything. Right now you can actually see him scouting out all 5 members. Oh, they almost got the bird, but it actually expired right there as he, yeah. Oh, no, he doesn't recast it. But yeah, it adds insult to injury when you have all this map vision on top of the Tundra Hawk.
Yeah.
They do have a Bound Eye up onto Fade, and that's fantastic for her, but the Bound Eye is still up on to Deadfruit playing this Pharaoh. It really should go to that Tundra so that he can have vision above that Hawk. His Hawk does get sniped. Here comes the ultimate. I'll let you take over, Break.
Pharaoh jumps in. The Barbed Armor activated. Artesia just left alone. She puts her ulti down herself in the Essence projection, but it just died half a second later. It's not Arachna style. Her ultimate goes away when she dies. So great pickoff right there for the Hellborn team. You could tell they were setting that up for a while, and it's just a case of when would Pharaoh initiate. Sure enough, he did, and the Legion team just simply was not ready to react. They're also going to get Kongor on top of this. So really, I mean, that kill just did even a next level thing, because not only did they get the free kill, but they're going to get Kongor. Token of Life going to appear. Probably will be on Draconis, honestly, at this point. It may even just be unnecessary, but why the hell not? He sells the one item, so yeah, it is going to be on Draconis right here. And so we'll see, when the timing is as far as when they go to maybe push now with the Token of Life, or can sit back and farm a little bit more. Now, Shrunken Head has been finished on Forsaken Archer at least. So
he's level 19,
yeah,
man, and just picked up a, what was that? The part of the Savage Mace, one of those components, the Slayer. Okay, so yeah, he is ridiculously farmed on top of that Whispering Helm. Things are looking just fantastic for Call It Karma, and they're dodging or at least avoiding this Nymph4 and Fade combination pretty well. But to be fair, I mean, FYKU, they can't really get anything done with no vision on the map. Mm-hmm. They have very defensive warding for Forsaken Archer, but she's just not going to farm that fast.
Yeah. Especially compared
she
to
can,
Draconis.
with this warding, she can basically only farm this top lane. If she does static it, that's probably the best decision, honestly. But the problem is when you're staticking this late on and you don't have any towers, you're obviously not gonna get any because you're keeping the lane where it is. So she can farm this top lane, she can farm ancients, and then she can farm like these 2 neutral camps, this hard camp closest to their middle lane, and then the small camp above it. And that's basically all that they can farm. And you're also worried about Artesia getting farmed, Tempest getting a shrunken head. Actually, he's very close to a shrunken head, so that could be the saving grace. But on top of that, you do have a Tundra ulti to stop that as well.
Yeah. And Pharaoh.
And Pharaoh, yeah.
Pharaoh, by the way, Glowstone picked up, and the Staff of the Master is not a bad option
It's
on him
an
if
awesome
you get to that
item.
point. Yeah, so it makes what, a 20-second cooldown,
Yeah.
as well as it gives you that hook to your teammate option too, which can be definitely fun for getting away in certain cases, or even helping to set up ganks. But yeah, so he's on his way to that, and again, this is like just a luxury Pharaoh here. He had a great start on farm. It's not really taken off by any means, but it's been enough to get the job done and do very well. In fact, he's going to catch right here onto Fade, who's invisible, but of course with the bound eye, he sees him. There goes a quick kill on a Fade. Tempest in the background getting caught as well. Draconis just pounding into the tower. Tempest will fall back, but this tower will easily fall for Sacred Archer. Looks like he might want to fight right here. Fade is dead, though, and he's not buying back, so I don't know if this is a fight that the Legion team necessarily wants to take, especially with that token of life. But the Hellborn team, call it karma, they're going to be the ones to retreat, actually. I find that interesting that with all their cooldowns, and especially with the token of life again, that they're the ones that decide to retreat, but that they will.
Well, they did use a lot. Draconis was using a lot. The Pharaoh initiation came in, and the Tundra ulti was used, and they didn't want to get caught in a Tempest ultimate. It's as simple as that.
True.
And they didn't have the means of canceling it at least right away. Luna can cancel it quite easily right now, but they don't know if Tempest is in the makes or had that shrunken head up and ready to go. So they played it safe, and that's the right thing to do. They have the token of life up for another 4.5 minutes, so they're not in any rush to really push into the high ground, at least right now. They do have 2 more outer towers to take. That's what they should do. Just group up, take bottom, group up, take top. If the Legion team is smart, they should probably not fight at the outer towers with the token of life still being up on Draconis. And I think he might have enough for a Savage Mace.
Yeah.
At least maybe 1 Warhammer. Nope, he does have it.
There you go.
Ridiculous.
What's the GPM up? 620 gold per minute. Man, Alme is just a farming machine here. Or should I say Draconis is a farming machine here. No, obviously he's playing it very well. Savage Mace picked up. Has he died yet? No, he hasn't even died yet. He's 7-0-1, so he still has a streak going here. And obviously that's for the Legion team's benefit, honestly. If they do happen to get a snipe kill onto him, whoever gets the kill will get a nice little hefty bonus gold there. But that is a big if, honestly, at this rate, especially with that Whispering Helm on top of everything else. So
Yep.
They're just going to keep trying to protect this Forsaken Archer, though. Just get her more and more farm, 2,100 gold. So it keeps going back to the fact that, sure, her farm individually actually isn't that bad. I mean, 378 gold per minute, respectable. But yeah, it's just comparable to Draconis. It's just nowhere near. And the gold per minute chart is actually kind of funny because just how high Draconis is compared to everyone else. It makes everyone else look so measly, but
I know.
it honestly isn't that bad. I mean, Pharaoh and Tundra, they're not farming 296, 280, Tempest 285, but yeah. Comparable, it's just bad.
This Pharaoh this game makes me want to go home and play Pharaoh. Like, Pharaoh is so fun to play, and he's been very active all game. And, hasn't really been farming it that much. He does have 100 CS, but it's been a lot of fun to watch him. And he's played fantastically this game, so big props to Deadfruit.
14 of the 20 kills he's been involved in, so yeah, he's been a big part of the team's success here. What is game number 1? So a quick recap on that while we have a little bit of break time here. Again, this is game number 1 here, the grand finals of the Gold Division, baby. This is it. Both of these teams are already moving on to the Diamond Division next cycle, but at this point they're playing for some more points and some more prize pool even here from the Gold Division, so definitely something on the line there. Now, FYKU, they are up a best-of-3 series. Well, what that means, call it karma. If they happen to win the first series, we will go to a second series. If FYKU wins the first series, then it is just all over. So, of course, that's because FYKU came from the winner's bracket and call it karma coming from the loser's bracket, of course, losing to FYKU in the winner's finals to even get there in the first place. So,
right,
that's how you can look at it there. But as a team right now, call it karma, they're going to roam down here the bottom lane. And it looks like this timing's coming up. There's about 1:45 remaining on the token of life. So they're going to try to make something happen with it now.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like they could have gotten bottom tower and top tower, but they're taking the safer route. They wanted to get as much farm and much use out of that token of life, I suppose. But if they're able to time this push and just have Draconis in the front lines pounding at that tower. You can do it from on the low ground, of course, with that Savage Mace, and that's one of the best reasons of picking up a Savage Mace, in my opinion. But no, they want to fight them. And maybe they heard me say, if you're up, you want to fight. But I think this is the wrong decision, honestly.
Yeah.
Because you also have the top tower being pursued by Fade as well, and it's actually getting pressured. It's probably going to die and fall. Yeah, that's the wrong decision. You had so much farm. You had the Token of Life still up for just only another minute or so. They should have just pushed it in the high ground, pushed the base. They had all the means to do so. They get the double deny on both those towers, which is fine, but it's really the map control that FYKU wants, and yeah, I don't like that decision by Call It Karma at all.
Well, yeah, it does seem kind of silly now. Nefora is going to port up to the top lane, and actually Glacius and Luna in a lot of trouble. Luna's going to get caught out right here. In comes Artesia with the nuke damage. Fade with the open, and down he goes. Glacius also going to get caught out. Like I said, the Common Sun is down with goes. Avalanche coming in from Banana for the win. They'll play that Thunder. Here comes our Golden Dragon. The R is pressed right there with a Cataclysmic Assault, and it indeed is a Cataclysmic Assault. The Legion team just melts apart. Fade, Artesia, and Tempest Ball. Nymphora also gets picked off. Alme with the hat trick. And, well, that's a farm dragon for you.
Wow. They just disintegrated.
Yeah.
Wow, that was so much damage. And, I could say it was the wrong decision, but the fact that Draconis was up there and just didn't go back to farming after they left that bottom lane, he made something happen with it. So good job from Call It Karma. And now they're going to pressure this top tower. This is the last outer tower for FYKU. And almost up to 700 gold per minute. We got 670 gold per minute up on Draconis. Another 4,500 gold up on him. Gets the tower, so has another 5K. Oh, man. I'm looking for outlets for FYQ, and I'm just not finding them.
Well, this is the other another crazy amongst many crazy things, honestly, with Draconis, at least in my mind, is that his Cataclysmic Assault, it's a 30-second cooldown. Like, it usually, with like Tempest Ultimate or whatever, it's just like, okay, yeah, it's a big-ass ultimate. It can definitely be a game changer, but it's on cooldown, so we can make something happen here. That'll never be the case for Draconis. He's always going to have it off cooldown because it's just so simply damn short, going from team fight to team fight. So
yeah,
it's tough to play around.
It's almost similar to like a War Beast Ultimate level 16. It just always seems to be up. They're arguably both strong. I do think that Draconis is quite easy though, because you just activate it and right-click because it only hits heroes. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it only hits heroes. So you can't go wrong and like misclicking or auto-attacking the wrong thing. It'll fix that problem for you. So I think that's the biggest issue, honestly, is that it only hits heroes. And maybe if it hits just like every other target in the area, I don't know. But yeah, it is pretty strong.
Double damage Rune Pit. You do not want to fight right here if you're FY. Look at the one auto attack on Fade. It brings it down to a third life, but here we go. The Dragon is chasing, and FYKU very smartly falling back. That's the last thing you want to involve yourself in. It's a double damage Draconis here, who, by the way, also has a similar Rage now finish. So,
oh my god.
Yeah, sure, the Token of Life is gone, but he has a similar Rage. Kongor is bound to be back up very shortly here, now that I think about it, too. So, they are forming up here at the bottom lane, but something tells me, Call It Karma, they're just, again, they've been playing more of the safe route this game. They're probably just going to wait for Kongor. In fact, they are starting to fall back right now, and that'll really put it on FYKU. It's just seeming like that this game is getting close to the very end. I mean, they're just sitting in the base right now, waiting for a push to happen, but as you can see on your mini-map, it's just not happening yet. Now, Kongor, again, he's bound to be resurrecting any second now, and I'm sure that's what we'll see FYK, or Call It Karma, head over and looking to take him on. FYKU, FYKU, they are going to head over themselves, expecting the same thing, of course, as they should be, but it keeps going back to, even if they know what's going on, I mean, can they legitimately take a fight? Now, Fade, Burning Shadows open, actually, they want to jump this, but the Great Lunas are coming out initially. There's the Golden Dragon, the Tempest, only about to cancel immediately by Pharaoh right there, and Draconis, the Cataclysmic Assault is all over the place. GG, well plays are called. That officially will do it. Genocide coming out. You just can't win that. There's just no way. I mean... It was a great cancel, by the way, by Pharaoh. He played that very patient and wait for Tempest, and sure enough, canceled despite the shrunken head as we expected. And then Draconis, well, pressed R, right-clicked, and stuff died.
Ended the game with 703.6 gold per minute. So showing Pewee, he also has the means to carry his team.
Yeah.
But you can't give all the limelight to Alme. You really got to give it to Pharaoh, being played by Deadfruit, setting up so many kills, and they did put a little bit of. Well, I want to say they put the priority on him in the bottom lane with it starting up with kind of a tri-lane there. They missed that first gank opportunity onto the short lane and didn't really get it, but still made something happen with that Pharaoh. He got some good farm early on and just roamed around with those supports and was very effective. So big props to Deadfruit playing that Pharaoh.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, he was not only a lot of fun to watch, but did the right things for his team. And a big part, we talk about that with Draconis players all the time. And in the end, you're so focused on them because they're just doing ridiculous damage, and you like to give them all the credit, but it's really not deserving of it. I mean, you got to spread around that, not only the stacking from the support, but to the initiation from Pharaoh, and Tundra also did his part. So, yeah, just a great team effort in the end for Call It Karma. But obviously having the Draconis to secure that late game isn't a bad thing either. So game 1, going to Call It Karma, big win for them, and definitely step in the right direction, of course, for, well, not only getting this first series taken care of, but it will have to be the second series if they even get to that point. But again, this is just the first game that's happened here. So ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Game number 2 coming at you. Call It Karma taking on FYKU Curdy. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.